Alright guys, welcome to Otaku Puppy Bark 18. I know it's been a while since we've done a bark, but we will be back doing them on a kind of regular basis, probably once a month still as we do them now. But yeah, welcome to Bark 18. Been kind of busy with school and work and things like that. Finally having time to do a bark. I've been doing other little side videos, upload a couple reviews on the site, on YouTube, and things of that nature. Couple things on the blog if you guys have been reading that. And yes, so we're finally here back with another bark for you guys. And today's bark will be covering the evolution of sports animes. It's something that I kind of hit me a few weeks ago as I've been watching more sports anime. I watched Haku season 1 and season 2. I think that's how you say it. That's how I say it, Haku. Season 1 and season 2. I'm watching Days now, which is an amazing soccer anime. I'm super excited for the rugby anime. I watched, I think it's Bakon, the motorcycle anime with the girl motorcycle club. I watched it also. It just seems like more and more sports animes are starting to come toward the forefront. Whereas maybe before they weren't quite as popular as they are now. When you go to conventions and you see people cosplaying as these different characters from sports animes, and I don't know, I think it's kind of taking a turn for the better, I guess is what I would say. So yeah, today's bark will be on the evolution of sports animes. I actually found a few sports animes that go back all the way to the 80s and things of that nature. But so yeah, so we're just talking about sports animes and kind of how they've went from being kind of popular to maybe not as popular in the mainstream anime fandom to being really popular now. Of course, when you first start talking about sports animes or anything like that, you cannot start without talking about the one, the only Speed Racer. My mom loved Speed Racer. She was a big Speed Racer fan back in the day. Speed Racer, I think, was really that first sports anime that really got people excited and got people into that genre of anime, because it was the ultimate racing anime. It was cutthroat racing, but it was fun to watch. Speed Racer was the character that you wanted to cheer for. You wanted him to win. And Racer X, I'm not mistaken, I think it's Racer X, which was his brother, was the one you want to hate him, but you knew he kind of had a good side in there somewhere. But just Speed Racer was just the anime that really got people into that genre of anime. And that was back in the when did Speed Racer come out? I have it right here. Speed Racer came out in 1967, 68. So we're talking about the late 60s. And I mean, if you say Speed Racer to anyone from that time period, they almost know, because that was still a time period to where these shows weren't known as animes or being from Japan. They were just cartoons that were on TV. And so American children watched these shows not knowing that they were from another country. It was Speed Racer. You just watched it. And so that really was the forefather of the sports anime as far as being popular over here in the States. Now, I'm going to some more older ones soon. But now, when I first got into anime, it was during that boom period of watching Toonami. There was Dragon Ball Z on there, but you also had Naruto, One Piece, Zatch Bell, Bobobo. All these shows were on Toonami. And then I had been into anime probably a few months at that time when Prince of Tennis premiered on Toonami. And I remember watching Prince of Tennis, and that was my first time really watching a sports anime. And watching Prince of Tennis was almost mind-blowing, because it was almost like watching a shonen anime, but they were playing sports. Like, you know, when he would hit the tennis ball and it would zoom in, and you could see the wind coming from the ball, and it would hit the court and it would smash and the court would break. And it was like he was so powerful with that racket. and he had so much skill, and he was so talented. It was almost like watching Naruto fight or something, and seeing that skill level progress as it went on. And it was like you're watching sports, but they're treating it like it's a real battle. Everything was done. Everything was so intense, and you could just feel their aggression. You could feel that they really wanted to win this game. And that's really what attracted me to Prince of Tennis and to sports animes kind of in general. Then Prince of Tennis, Toonami kind of took a downfall. I think Prince of Tennis got canceled. I'm pretty sure it got canceled during that time, because I think Mare did also. And so I kind of didn't really watch many sports animes during that time. I knew about the slam dunks, the like buzzer beaters, and shows of that nature that were also, people know about slam dunks. Slam dunks are pretty well-known sports anime. You might not see many cosplayers from it, but you say slam dunk, people are like, oh yeah, I've seen that. Buzzer beater, maybe not quite as well-known, but of course people know it. Then there's the ones like Hajime no Ippo and shows like that were, again, semi-popular, but not to the level of what they are now. And so I didn't really watch many sports animes during that time. I kind of just didn't really think about them, so I never really went back toward them. I kind of stuck with Prince of Tennis, the other series of Prince of Tennis, a little bit throughout here and there, but didn't really watch much more. And then last couple of years I've gotten back into the sports anime. I remember when Kuroko's basketball took off and got really, really big. It was like almost, and one more, there was I do remember watching back in the day on, I'm pretty sure it was Kids WB, when they had Ultimate Muscle, the wrestling anime, which I loved. Ultimate Muscle was my favorite show. It was, because it was so anime. It was so that galactic wrestling with the weird shaped muscles and things. It was so awesome, because I'm a big wrestling fan, and it was like, it was so great. I want the game, but the game is very expensive. Like, the video game is hard to find, and it is not cheap. The Game Boy Advance version is kind of cheap, but the PS2 version is not cheap at all. But I definitely, and the GameCube version are not cheap. But yeah, that's side news. But yeah, Ultimate Muscle was also when I used to watch it. I really enjoyed it. I don't think Ultimate Muscle. It was on TV here, and the games came out here. But I'm not sure what the fan base for Ultimate Muscle really was. I mean, I watched it, but I don't know how it was fan-wise. Because, I mean, that was during that 4Kids days. And you know how most anime fans feel about 4Kids. So, yeah. Don't think it did very well. But Ultimate Muscle was also one of those that kind of has chance over here. But, yeah, so I started kind of going, like I said, when Kuroko's basketball took off, and it took off and it blew. I hadn't really watched Kuroko's basketball at first. This was about the time the second season was coming out, and I said, well, maybe I'll give it a try. Maybe I'll check it out. So I decided to finally check out Kuroko's basketball. I've only ever seen one episode of the show. I watched the first episode, and it was amazing. Like, I had no problem with the show, but it was just like I watched one, and by that time the second season was coming out. And next thing I knew, the third season was coming out, and it was just like I was getting so behind on it already. I just haven't ever gone back and caught up on it. I really wish they would dub it. I'm not sure if it's a dub or not. I'm assuming there is a dub somewhere, just because of the popularity of the show. But that was kind of, over the last few years, I noticed that sports animes were kind of hitting that boom again. They were kind of taking back off, and they were hitting that mark. And then, of course, that's when Haiku came out. And I watched the first season of Haiku, and it was brilliant. It was so amazing. Like, every episode, even episodes where they didn't really play much volleyball, were really, really good. Because they built up the hype for the game so much. You almost like you were on the team. You felt them going through the process of training and getting stronger and getting more skilled and getting ready to take on these monster teams, and you could feel it, and some of those spots on those in those games are when you could feel the intensity, and they would just get hype, and when they would hit the ball, and you were like, get it, get it, get it, and you could feel every moment, and it was amazing. Like how and I mean, and I remember going to cons, and you would see Kuroko basketball cosplayer, you would see Haku cosplayers. Before that, you might see one or two Prince of Tennis cosplayers, but that would be it. You wouldn't see many sports anime cosplayers. But it was like it took off, and fans wanted to cosplay these characters because not only was it just a sports anime, but the characters were they were well written, they were easy to connect with, and you just wanted to be that character. And then, of course, the second season of Haku came out. Again, another great season. And so it was like sports animes are really taking off to that spot. Now, with Days out, I'm watching Days now. And Days, again, is brilliant. It's about 4 or 5 episodes in. I'm not totally sure. But it's just so much fun to watch. And you can feel his pain when he's playing soccer, and he's not good at it. Like, he's really just not good at it. But he tries so hard. He's willing to push himself to get good at it, because he's not playing because, oh, it's soccer, I can get a scholarship and this and the other. He's playing because he really just enjoys being with other students and just having fun and feeling a part of something. And who can't connect with that? And that makes the show even better, and it's fun to watch so far, and it's definitely on that Haku Kuroko's basketball level. And again, like I said, sports animes are starting to really take off. They're really getting hot. There's more coming out. So there's a rugby anime coming out, and it's like sports animes now they're no longer not necessarily the red-headed stepchild of anime, but they're no longer just the side genre there, because there's the ecchi and the shonen and the shoujo anime that kind of take the forefront sometimes. Kind of like with music animes kind of have also kind of come back toward the forefront with my personal favorites like Shobai Rock, Basamaku Rock, Shonen Hollywood. Oh, I love Shonen Hollywood. I'm watching B Project right now. These idol type of shows that are really kind of, there's always been like Idol Master and things like that people love. But these shows now that are really coming to the forefront music wise, but also having not only are they idols, but they kind of have a deeper story to them other than just being idols. And it's the same way with the sports animes. They're no longer just sports animes. They're coming more to the forefront, and they're having a great backstory to them. Each character has their own story and the reason why they're doing the said sport. And there's more to it than just being on a team, playing a sport, and trying really hard to win. It's about bonding with each other and about making new friends. And if you win, great. If you don't win, then we've bonded, and we know how to try it again next year and to make that bond stronger. And that's really what I enjoy about these sports animes. And like I said, sports animes, I didn't realize how long they had really been around until I started kind of researching it. And like I said, of course, it's Speed Racer, but then I started finding things like Captain Tsubasa, which is a classic soccer anime. I've been meaning to watch it. It's very old school. I'm sure some of you have probably heard of Captain Tsubasa. There's a few games out there if you know where to look, and things like that. And of course, Initial D, which was another sports anime that kind of took off, and especially being the genre that it was. Initial D, like with Speed Racer was traditional racing in the sense that they were multiple cars in a race around a track. But with Initial D brought that drag racing aspect to it, and that's a whole different subgenre, and it worked. There's been multiple Initial D series, multiple movies. I had the game on my Japanese 3DS for a while, and it was really fun. They canceled it, but it was really fun. So even like Initial D had its moments where it took off and it really got the shine out there. But there's so many sports animes out there that if you don't research, you really don't know about. There's so many. There's another one that I watched from the 80s is called Dead Heat. Dead Heat was just, it's basically IGPX before IGPX. That's the best way to describe it. They race in these droid type things on two legs with wheels on them, and it's IGPX before IGPX, and it's one episode OVA. I mean, is it great? No, it's not. It's not horrible, but it's your typical 80s anime. But it's a pretty cool sports anime. It's kind of hard to find. I got it I watched it on YouTube one time. It's pretty hard to find. It's out there if you know where to look, but it takes a little bit of Googling. But there's another sports anime that people may not know about. Of course, there's iShield 21, which is a football anime. I've never seen iShield. I know of it. From what I know, it's a pretty long one. Also, I want to say in the hundreds as far as episodes go. iShield's a pretty long anime, but I don't know if it ever really gained a fan base here. I mean, being a football anime, you would think it probably would have stuck here, but I'm not sure how popular it ever got. There's I want to say it's Izuka 11, which is also another soccer anime. I remember when the game came out here a few years ago on the 3DS. It's another one of those that, again, was out there, and it wasn't that it was obscure, but it just didn't have a huge fan base like some of the ones do now. But there's a lot of them out there that aren't extremely old, but some of them are kind of old. I see there's Tiger Mask 2, which is another wrestling anime, and there's okay, I'm probably going to destroy this, but it is Bari Desetsu, which is a motorcycle anime from 1987. It's a one episode movie actually, and that's from the 80s. There's so many sports animes out there that if you research them, they're everywhere, and I didn't really realize how many there were, because like I said, my gap was from Prince of Tennis to Kuroko's basketball. That was my gap. I hadn't seen really anything in between there. And I kind of went back and I watched Dead Heat, and I've seen a little bit of Slam Dunk, seen 1 or 2 episodes of Buzzer Beater. I started watching Dear Boys also, which is another sports anime. Another basketball anime. I have both of those. I have Slam Dunk and Dear Boys on Super Famicom, and they're both really fun games. And again, they're both basketball animes, and they're kind of similar in style. But again, Slam Dunk is probably the more popular of the two, just because more people know of Slam Dunk. But yeah, there's so many sports animes out there, and it just seems like now they're really getting the attention that they deserve, and they're really taking off. And I think there may even be a figure skating anime coming out sometime soon. I know the rugby one comes out, I want to say next couple months, if not early next year. But I think there's a figure skating anime that comes out next season, I think it is. So see, even that, and they're starting to branch out with the sports. There's usually your basketball, soccer, then you got and tennis, but now you've got the volleyball, and then you got the rugby, then you got back to soccer again. Now we're going to figure skating. So they're starting to kind of branch out and get more different sports, and it's really working, I think, because as long as the story stays solid and the characters stay relatable, I don't see why it can't work. I've been enjoying, like I said, Haiku, Days. I've been enjoying all these animes that are really good, even going back and watching some older ones, and they're still really good because the story is still there. The characters are still relatable, and it's like, and once you watch some of the newer anime, you go back and watch some of the older ones, you can kind of see the influence from them into the newer ones, because like I know in episode 1 of Slam Dunk, the main character, when you kind of see he's this big, he's that typical tough guy from those animes like Cromartie High School, and those kind of characters with the black like black school uniform on with the long swooped over hair. But he's like this tough guy, but he also has this softer side. And then like once he gets rejected, he just tries to be this tough basketball player, and it's kind of funny, but you kind of get it, and you can kind of see that in certain sports animes now, where maybe the taller players, or like in Days now, in Days, the guy who's the captain of the team, he's really starting to come and get connected with the main character, because he sees how hard he's trying, see how hard he's working, and he can connect with that. And he's supposed to be this tough captain of this team. He can relate to that. He can connect and makes him a better teammate. And so you can kind of feel that. And that's what I like about these sports animes. They kind of put you in that mindset of being a team player and a best friend at the same time. Oh, I forgot about I totally forgot about, probably gonna destroy it like I always do, but it's Yowamushi Pedal, the bicycle racing anime. I did not watch it, but I heard nothing but great things about it. It took off pretty well. As far as I know, it was a great one also. I know it had, I think, 2 seasons. I want to say 2 movies. And I know there's a game on 3DS. I almost got it, but I just haven't had the chance to. Import prices aren't greatest sometimes. But yeah, so I know that there's also a big one. And then of course I see it also now, Ace of Diamond, the baseball anime, which from what I've heard also is a really, really good one. I have not seen it, but I've also heard that to some I've heard it's a classic one that you probably should watch. And so it's on my backlog also. So there are a few that, like I said, that did get a little mainstream success, enough to make people want to watch more sports animes, but maybe not enough to go back or stick with that genre. But ones like Haku now and Kuroko's Basketball and Days are making people really stick with the genre, and also Yowamushi Pedal are making people stick with the genre and really enjoy it again and bringing life back to it. And so I'm not gonna ramble too long, but yeah, I just want to talk about this subject. It's been thinking about it for about a week now, and I just kind of want to hit it and see what other people thought about it. Like I said, right now is one of my favorite genres right now, besides the idol genre. I'm falling in love with the idol genre. I've watched both seasons of Shonen Hollywood, Bakumaku Rock, Show by Rock, and now I'm watching B Project, which is just, it's just cute guys singing songs, but it's so great. The songs are wonderful, and then I can't resist it. But again, like I said, it's that genre that was kind of just Idol Master and a little here and there, but now in music, Idol Master, then of course like Beck and K-On. K-On, yeah, we're not gonna even touch that one, but it's there if you wanna watch that. It's there. But those were your music animes. Oh, and of course DMC, Detroit Mill City. That was the music genre kinda, and You Light in April, which I have not seen, but I heard is beautiful and wonderful. But that was kind of the music genre a little bit. But now they're bringing the idol thing kind of back out, and it's really working. And so sports anime is kind of the same way. They're kind of coming back out and kind of having a big impact on the world of anime. And I'm really glad that they're doing that, and I've been enjoying all of them, and I hope I will continue to enjoy them. So yeah, I think that's about it. I'm not going to ramble too long here. I just kind of wanted to hit on that topic for a moment. So if any, tell me what animes you're watching. Tell me what you're watching for summer. I've been watching 91 Days, which is 91 days is 91 days is I've described it as gangster but better. Gangster, the anime is like gangster, but it's just better. I watched 91 Days, B Project, Food Wars 2, I can't remember what else. What else I'm watching? I'm watching 2 or 3 more shows also. Still watching Ace Attorney. Still watching Beyblade Burst. Still watching Twin Star X. Oh, watching Sir Vamp also. So yeah, tell me what you guys are watching for the summer season, and also tell me if you have any. What are your favorite sports animes, and are you watching any now? And if so, are you enjoying the sports animes? Do you wish the genre would continue to get popular, or do you not like the genre at all? Let me know whether you like it or don't like it. Yes, I think that's about it. As always, subscribe to the channel, like this video. We'll be back soon with another video for you guys. Check out the blog below. Link for the blog will be below. Check out our online game store. And check out the Twitter and the Patreon page. And I think that's about all the plugs I have there. Yeah, so we'll be back soon. Probably check the blog within the next couple of weeks. There'll be another Forgotten Anime post up. But yeah, and probably another video coming up soon also. Not quite sure when, but probably coming up soon. Another Bark probably. But yeah, so until then, I'm done rambling. So thank you guys for listening. This has been Otaku Puppy Bark 18. And until next